Hey everybody, Hunter back again from Showtime Studios. Just had a request come across. Actually, a friend of mine on my phone. It's also a subscriber on my channel and is a friend on Facebook. Had a question about how to get a set of truck rails that have already been assembled straight. And I think what he's having a problem with is he's got the axles in and he's a little bit high or low on one side in the rear compared to the front, or the frame's twisted a little bit. So this can go out, this video goes out to him, and also for anybody else that's in the truck build that could be having this problem. When you get up to the point of putting your wheels and tires on, you find out they're not quite all on the ground. So quick little trick I'm going to show you how to do on those, and we'll get right into this. So let me pan the camera down here and we'll get started. Okay, I have a frame laying here. This is actually a future project that's coming up. I have the frame stretched, and this is for a European style truck. I'm going to do something a little bit different to it. But this frame is straight. Everything is, pretty squared up, and as you sight down it, everything looks good, even with the stretch and stuff that's been put in it. But if you run into an issue where back here at the back of the rails you have one that's higher than the other one after you get it assembled, now this is going to depend on what glue you use. First off, let me say, if you've used super glue to put your cross members in, I do not recommend this technique, because what will happen is you will snap the super glue joints. That is one of the reasons also that I never use super glue when I'm gluing together structural parts of something. Especially on frame rails on a truck, or the cross members or anything like that. I always do it with the Tamiya Extra Thin, the Pro Weld, or the Tenax 7R, or even my Black Testers liquid model cement. Because the good thing about all of those glues is they still have flexibility once they're set. But if you put super glue on here, it has no flexibility to it and it will crack. So but just take, for instance, that say the right side of this frame rail is too high. All you want to do with that, and it's a pretty easy technique to do, if it's just high back here at the rear, you can grab the frame rails just like this ahead of it, and I'll take my thumb and put underneath of the side that's low, and I'll take my index finger and put underneath the side that is high, and just basically put a twist in it. And it's going to be hard for me to show it on camera what I'm doing here, but you can see the twist that I'm putting in the frame rail. And if you've used the glues that I just talked about, it's going to have enough flexibility to be able to do that. Now, if you get into the thing of you have a problem with, if the frame rails are straight and the problem is in the axle itself, and you've already got the airbags in the back here, it's going to be a little bit harder to straighten that out. But the way that I'll do that sometimes is just grab a hold of the entire assembly back here, right where, pretty much where your rear suspension is going to mount into it. And it's the same procedure. You just kind of want to grab a hold of the frame and support it, and you're not trying to pinch in on this real tight and crush it in. You just want to hold it, and it's the same thing. Just grab a hold of whatever you want to get to either drop down or raise back up, and just give it a twist. And what that'll do is it won't produce a lot of movement, I guess you could say. I mean, if you're an eighth of an inch high, you're going to have a hard time getting it right with this technique. But if you're just a little bit high and you want your wheels to sit on the ground, that's a technique to use. And another way that I can show to do it is there's the frame sitting, flat on the workbench, and I'll just grab a hold of it here, and it's that same technique. You can see the frame twist right there, and you can just hold it up just like that and tweak it a little bit, and be a little bit aggressive with it. Being Italeri plastic, especially if you've got EMT plastic, as long as you don't see it turning white in certain spots, you're not going to have a problem with it breaking. But just be careful as you do it. I mean, don't get in there and, you know, act like a gorilla on it, because it will snap, and then you'll have to go back and start over. But, you know, hopefully that gives some people that's having a problem with, you know, frames being not square or whatever, that'll give you a little trick on how to straighten that out. The best thing to do is right from the very get-go, make sure that your frame rails are flat, and if possible, you know, lay them down on your workbench if you can, or what have you. But, you know, right off the bat, make sure that those frame rails are as flat as you can get them. And then if you know they are, when you have a problem when you go to put the wheels and tires on, you know that it's in the suspension pieces themselves or in the rear end. Now, another thing with the AMT kits is they have the metal axle that slides through the rear ends, and a lot of those have a little bit of up and down play, so you don't really need to do this technique as much. But give that a try, see what happens. You know, and if you have any more problems or whatever with it, just send me a message, and I'll see if I can do a follow-up video on it. So that's about all we have for today, and stay tuned for the next videos coming up. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.